Hey guys, welcome to this video. I wanted to answer a question that Mark Taylor posed. I thought it was a very good question. It says, if the report I pull from annual credit report is the real report, then what good are the reports I pay for from credit monitoring like Smart Credit, or I'm not familiar with Identity Force, but there would be things like Identity IQ and other similar companies. Is that information not accurate enough to stand up in court? So the basic answer in terms of standing up in court is it's dangerous for us to rely on a smart credit, identity IQ, some type of credit monitoring, because that allows the bureaus to come in and say, well, that's not the real data. See, you've pointed out that this is different than that, but if you look at our actual reports, you'll see that there is no difference. Well, if that's true, then the case is gutted, okay? So we don't ever want to rely on those for court. Now we can use them as merely evidence, but we don't want that to be our sole evidence. So the question is, what good are those reports? Well, they can be good in a couple ways. One, if you have signed up for them, they come to you sort of automatically, or you just go to the website, click a button, and boom, you have the report. It generally tries to put all three bureaus sort of side by side by side. So if you have a portfolio recovery account, it'll say, here's Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. If you have a Capital One account, same thing. A mortgage account, same thing. It makes it easier to see it, okay, because it's all right there, and you can identify errors. The problem is, again, we don't know that that's entirely accurate. So I have used Smart Credit, I have used Identity IQ, but that's sort of the beginning part. Then we want to see, what do the real reports say? So here's an example of how you can do it. You can start off with Smart Credit or Identity IQ. I'm just going to call it Smart Credit. Start off with Smart Credit and say, hey, I've identified all these discrepancies, all these times where Equifax and Experian differ, or TransUnion and Equifax differ. And you can prepare a dispute letter based on that. But here's where people mess up. They send in those dispute letters and they never worry about the what are called results of investigation coming back. They'd say, oh, I'm not worried about what the credit bureaus do. I'm just going to pull a new Smart Credit the next month and then the next month. And I'll see if there's any changes. Particularly credit repair places do this. And for the life of me, I don't understand why. I mean, I do, because sometimes with their clients, it's difficult to get them to send in those results of investigation. The easiest thing is, if you run a credit repair place, have all of your clients get Adobe Scan on their cell phone, totally free, iPhone, Android phone. And when they get those results of investigation, they scan in. You can scan in multiple pages, and it all comes as one PDF. And the reason you need that is because you want to see exactly what the bureaus are doing. And the bureaus almost always, if they don't delete it, they'll say, we've updated it. Okay, well, what did you update? Well, the report will tell us exactly what TransUnion did. We don't have to rely 2 weeks from now on what Smart Credit says TransUnion did. We just look and see literally, what did TransUnion do. Now, I also recommend going to annualcreditreport.com, getting your real reports. Okay, so again, Smart Credit, Identity IQ, those types of things, they're fine to start with, and they're easier to read. Just understand it may not be 100% accurate, and you need to see exactly what the results are from the bureaus. And in the meantime, be pulling the real reports. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion from annualcreditreport.com once a week. Now, sometimes that site's difficult, or you may not know how to print a PDF. Well, learn how to print a PDF. Just Google it. Say, I have a Windows, 10 PC. How do I print the PDF? I have a Mac, operating system, whatever. I have a Chromebook. Just learn how to print a PDF. So a lot of this we covered in our very first session. We're having, it's going to be 5 or 6 sessions, maybe longer. Depends on just how much information and how much we get, sort of live Q&A. But our webinar series on how to fix your credit reports, And you can go to howtofixcreditreport.errors.com. I'll put that in the comments as well and in the description. And you can see that the entire first session is about smart credit's fine, but you really need those real reports. And then the session coming up this Thursday, which would be the 15th, I guess, will be, all right, now we have our real reports. Let's look at the biographical information. Name, all the variations of name, addresses, phone numbers, social security, date of birth, places of employment. Let's identify all the errors with that and start to gather that information so we can then easily put that into a dispute letter. So I'm not saying that it's a waste of money to use Smart Credit. I don't. And matter of fact, there are some clients we have that just, even with our help, cannot seem to get their actual reports, and we'll sign them up for Smart Credit. Okay, that's something we do for our own clients. So I use it. I mean, I've got, PDFs of Smart Credit, all over, client files, but it's not the same thing. It's not as valuable as your real reports from annualcreditreport.com, or like we talked about in the webinar a few days ago, go to myequifax.com, Experian.com. No real free way to get it from TransUnion other than Credit Karma. Again, that's not literally the TransUnion data. So if you can't pull it from TransUnion, you may have to buy it. But I will say this, usually TransUnion is the easiest to get from annualcreditreport.com. So Mark, I hope that answers your questions, that's helpful. And just let me know if you have any other questions. Okay, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.